In this video, learn how to become a consistently profitable trader like you deserve to be.
Hi, I'm Mike Bellafiore, co-founder of SME Capital, and we're a proprietary trading firm located in Midtown Manhattan. And I'm also the author of the trading classic, One Good Trade, and the playbook. Click our subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos that we're producing for you in the trading community.
In this video, I share in detail the path our traders take to become consistently profitable and then star traders.
We're sitting in our trading room in New York City. Our floor manager's there. Our trading coach, Dr. Steenbarger's there. I'm there. Team leader for the particular team is there, the senior trader, and his junior traders on his team are also there. We meet monthly to go over the progress of all the traders on each team. One particular team is set to go over their month. So the senior trader goes and he talks about his month and he is killing it. He's crushing it, had a great month, and doing as well as he's done in a really long period of time. The next trader goes, junior trader on his team, doing really well, taking that next step forward in his progress. Next trader goes, also doing really well, trading particularly well, finding things that he really likes to trade. So I'm sitting there listening to all this, and this all captures my attention because it's unusual for everybody across the board to be doing this well. And so I ask, why are you guys all doing so well? Senior trader chimes in, well, it's the market. There's tremendous amount of opportunity. That's why we're killing it. Another junior trader steps forward and says, well, I'm doing so well because I stopped doing all the stupid stuff. And once I stopped doing all the stupid stuff, I really started to trade better. Another trader steps forward and says, I think we're really doing a great job together collectively as a team sharing information. Dr. Steenbarger in the room hearing all of this, who is the very best trading coach in the US, says, there's an old saying in Kentucky. You're either a show horse or you're a workhorse. And what I'm seeing in this room are a bunch of workhorses. If you want to be a consistently profitable trader, a successful trader, you need to be a workhorse. It takes time. Legend. This is an email that I received from a trader who was 9 months into his trading career. Hi, Mike. How you doing? I've now been trading about 10 months at the firm, different firm than ours, and learning from one of the best traders. For our style of trading, the firm as a whole finds this to be one of the most difficult markets in decades. Yet some of the veteran traders are still putting up great numbers, and even some of the new guys are able to scrape together a decent month. As for me, I've really been struggling, and I'm probably towards the bottom of my class. My whole life, I've succeeded and become the best at whatever I've put my mind to, whether through intelligence or sheer determination. Yet for the first time ever, I find myself at a total loss. Every month, I put in more effort, and while I learn so much each month, it never translates into results. I feel as if I'm always 1 month behind this market, where whenever I push my trading to the next level, the market gets harder and some of my best plays stop working, and the market finds new weaknesses in my trading. After putting so much heart and effort into something and getting no positive feedback, the emotional aspect is really taking a toll on me. While this has been my dream job and I don't know what else I would do, I'm starting to get pretty disenchanted with the whole thing. At what point should a trader give up? Again, this was written to me by a trader 9-10 months into their trading career. What I'm going to say to you right now after reading that email may be pretty shocking. That was written by a trader who's now one of the top, I mean, star traders in the US. This trader is going to do north of $5 million in trading profits this year. And prior to that, he had many years where he made multiple millions of dollars a year. His nickname from his colleagues, based on his trading prowess, is Legend. He's truly one of the great active traders that I know and that is out there. It takes time. It takes time. Reread what he just wrote. And so after he actually sent me this email, I had a conversation with him. We talked in depth about his decision. And I said, look, you've got a great mentor. You've got a lot of resources behind you. You've got ability. This is something you really love to do. Give it another 12 months. Let's see where you're at. He did. The rest is history.
If you want to learn 3 real-world setups that our traders use, including the simple setup that we teach all of our new traders and the setup that turned one of our traders into a 7-figure big money earner, check out the free webinar that we're currently running. Just go ahead and click the link that should be appearing right now at the top right-hand corner of your screen. That's going to open up this free registration page in the new window, so don't worry, you're not going to lose this video. You're going to learn more in a couple of hours from this trading workshop than from years of online education.
Not yet, not yet, not yet. And so we used to run something called a college training program. And so college students would come in and they could take our training, and we'd get a little bit of a look at them, and they get a really great education in trading. And so at the end of one of our college training programs, I took all of the trainees out to lunch and looked around the room and said, hey, are any of you making money yet as a trader? And they all kind of looked away. Almost all of them looked away, turned their head sheepishly, didn't want to answer, except one. And one trader, one college student, chimed in and said, well, I am now. And we got back to the office, pulled recruiting aside, human resources, pulled aside to make sure that young man applies to the firm. He did, and he's got on to become really one of the great traders at our firm, one of the really top traders at our firm. Somebody who has made well north of a couple $1 million a year, multiple years now, over the course of his short career. And I remember him being just a young man in college. And even though he was one of the guys who was getting it a little bit in college, and his first year, his trading profits with us were $60,000. In his second year, his trading profits overall were $180,000, and most of that was towards the end of year 2. He didn't make 7 figures, over $1 million in P&L until his 3rd year. And so if you're not doing as well as you want right now, not yet. If you don't think the results that you're showing right now are not conducive to your ability, not yet. If you think you should be making a lot more than you are right now, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. We have only trained one trader in the course of our firm's business. We started in 2005. So in 15 years, there's only been one trader that we've trained that made $1 million in his first year. Only one. Not yet, not yet, not yet. The path to consistently profitable trader: patience, We talked about that. Not yet, not yet, not yet. Remember legend, a foundation, sample, daily routine, a playbook in your niche, technology, the good fail, consistently profitable trader, sizing, breadth. Notice that sizing comes after being consistently profitable trader. Notice how many things come before becoming consistently profitable trader. At our desk at S&B, we're a proprietary trading desk located in New York City. We fund traders. We hire them from zero. We hire them as new traders and give them all the resources they need to become seven-figure traders. They start with building a strong foundation. They need to learn everything they need to know about trading. We don't expect them to be able to make money unless they first learn everything they need to learn about trading. So the first step is SMB DNA. They don't actually even come into our doors to train with us in-house. You can't even actually be an intern and walk through our doors unless you take SMB DNA. Can't walk in the door. And so that's the beginning of us teaching traders their foundation. And then the next step is to take the winning trader. That's where they sample, sample, sample. They are exposed to different setups that our best traders are taking on a daily basis. We break those trades down into variables, and we teach all of those setups to our new traders. There's breakout trades, momentum trades, scalp trades, breaking news trades, market play trades, arb trades, across the boards, backside trades, all the trades that active traders take who are elite and consistently profitable, we break down and share with our traders and then let them experiment with. All of that's supplemented with daily mentoring sessions. So we have an AM meeting, we have a meeting after the close. Senior traders come in and talk about what they're doing well and how they're doing it well, how they're finding stocks, and what their best processes are for trading at their best. We have a meeting right after the open at 11 o'clock, talk about the best setups from the open that guys can be taking from that day, so they're learning in real time. We have a playbook session. We have a reading the tape session where they learn order flow and how to read the tape. You know, one of the skills that prop traders have that retail and independent traders sometimes lack. But the key is they're sampling. We let, after we expose our traders to all these different types of setups, we let them choose the niche that they're going to focus on. We let them choose the business that they're going to build within inside of the prop firm. And everyone's different. Everyone trades different setups. They all make them their own from these setups that we teach them. And they all have a daily routine. I'm going to talk about 20 habits you might pick up, add to your trading to help you trade better. Having a consistent routine helps people perform better. They have a playbook in their niche. They develop that by doing a playbook exercise each day, archiving setups that make the most sense to them, breaking down, decoding the setups that worked, that made the most sense to them each day. And then that becomes that's the genesis of their trading business. Technology, we have weekly classes where we're teaching people how to use technology to build filters and scripts and automation. And then consistently profitable trader. We don't expect, and so we're hiring really terrific people. They're interning with us. We're hiring the best of the interns. We don't expect them to really make money until a little bit later in their trading career. We give them plenty of time. We don't expect somebody who we've hired to kill it month 3. So if we, as what people consider to be the most successful prop firm in the US at building traders from the beginning into consistently profitable and then seven-figure traders. That's what we're known for. If we are, and traders have all these resources, they have millions of dollars of capital and the best coaching, the best technology, experienced traders around them who do really, really well, everything you need. If we don't expect them to make money right away, then maybe you shouldn't. Find your talent with the power of sample. So, too many who take one or two training courses fail, and then they conclude one of two things. Either I'm a bad trader, or the training is a scam. So let me put this in context. So I'm a former Division I athlete. And when I grew up, I played three sports. I played soccer, I played basketball, and I played baseball. I played the most soccer. Spent most of my time playing soccer. I practiced the most at basketball. And I played the least and I did practice baseball, but practiced the least of any of the sports playing baseball. And, as I grew older, it turned out that, I could have practiced as many hours in the day as I possibly could for soccer. And if I did that, I was never going to be a Division I soccer player. I could have practiced hours upon hours and upon hours more playing basketball, and I was not going to be a Division I athlete. But for whatever reason, I can throw a baseball really fast. And that's part of, abilities that I had and that were developed. But we need to recognize that as traders. We have unique personality and cognitive strengths, and we need to build on them. And if we go into the wrong niche learning as a trader, we're not going to succeed. We have traders on our desk who, if we made them scalp, would not be successful. But if we let them do the things they're good at, can be seven-figure traders. We have traders on our desk, okay, who, if we made them to be swing traders, would not be seven-figure traders. Find your talent after sampling. You got to try a bunch of different types of trading, different types of products. You got to give it some time. And then from there, see where your talent lies for trading and gravitate towards that. Daily routine drives your improvement. James Clear wrote one of the great books last year that I recommended to all the traders on our desk and in our community, called Atomic Habits. Must read, find some time to pick it up. He also writes a great newsletter, and in a recent one, he wrote, "You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." Your goal is your desired outcome. Your system is the collection of your daily habits that will get you there. This year, spend less time focusing on the outcomes and more time focusing on the habits that precede the results. Our job is to develop a routine of best practices that are effective that we turn into habit. That's what allows us to improve as a trader. For example, here are 20 habits for traders, unless you want to fail, that we'd recommend to our traders and that they put on their calendar and implement into their trading day. A daily playbook. Tape reading, watching back recorded film from the trading session that's most interesting to them, where big moves came after. Mindfulness, 10 minutes a day of mindfulness practice. Learning daily. So one of the things I do each day is I walk to and from work. Well, I used to walk to and from work, but now that we have the coronavirus fears, we actually moved out of the city into a shore house, this big shore house, and that's where we're sort of all holed up. But what I used to do was walk to and from work, and I would listen to audiobooks. I listened to audiobooks, and I listened to podcasts, and I built into my day time for me to learn. Sleep properly. I wear this Aura ring. It measures my sleep. If I don't get a certain amount of sleep, my Aura ring gives me a really bad score. I know that I'm not going to perform as well. There are traders on our desk who risk down when they don't get a good night's sleep. Trader View. This is a great tool which you can use that helps you to crunch your stats. A book of charts. Every time you see a really great chart that preceded a really big move that you want to capture, you take a snapshot of that chart, you mark up the chart, and then you put it into a book. Over the weekend, you go through your book of charts, so you internalize the really great charting setups that you're going to build your career out of. Exercise. So one of the great things that I did last year is hired a personal trainer. Even though we're secluded right now, actually we have these virtual sessions with my trainer who is in New York City right now. And over my iPad, we do a bunch of workouts. I got a bunch of bands. I got a TRX, and we get some good workouts in. No excuses. A diet. What are the things that are going to lead to thinking well? It's a big part of your life as a trader. Mentoring sessions. Technology. What technology you're going to build to find your best trades. AM prep. The daily report card. I'll talk a little bit about that. Rip through charts at night. Rip through a bunch of daily charts to find technical setups that may visit the next trading session. Talk to traders. When you're in a trade, you're going to have a perspective that may not be complete. Go talk to other traders about theirs. Put that together, gives you more complete picture of what really happened in the trade. Game plan your big trade. So what's going to be the big trade right around the corner that you want to be involved in? Game plan before your AM meeting. What are the stocks you want to trade on that particular session? What are the levels that are most important to you? What's your top idea? What alerts are you going to put into your system for your third, fourth, fifth, sixth ideas? Daily gratitude. This is an exercise I do with my kids before we go to bed. I say to them, what are the 3 things that you're grateful for from the day? Admittedly, sometimes I'm met with blank stares. Then I sort of coax them into, oh, you got a new basketball hoop from your aunt today. Oh yeah, Dad, we got a new basketball hoop. But that's a great exercise to go through before you go to sleep. Train your brain. So Brain HQ is a great site to visit where you can work on your mental acuity and relationships. Do you have strong relationships that ground you and make trading so that you can put trading into its proper perspective? You want to be happy outside of trading so that when you are trading, you're trading better. So this is a snapshot of one of the traders who I just think the world of. I don't know that there's a trader that I root harder for, and that I'm really more proud of his success than anyone. And so, and I have to sort of share this anecdote, which is for I think about the last 18 months, I've been coaxing him every time I see him pass me, every time we have a private meeting, that he's going to be the next green shirt trader at the firm. You earn a green shirt if you make $1 million in trading profits in the year. He's been very consistent, but has never gotten up to that level. And so I've been on him and on him and on him for him to think about him being the next green shirt trader at the firm, that he can be somebody who makes those kind of profits. But before I even really started to get after him about stuff like that, he came in to meet with our risk manager and myself about getting a risk bump with a particular strategy. And I was a little bit lax to give the risk bump prior to the meeting, but he sat down and he plopped his trader view stats in front of our floor manager and myself. And the stats were gorgeous. 10 out of 10, just super model-ish looking equity curve for the particular strategy which he wanted more capital for. And I'm really glad I didn't say anything. And I'm glad the floor manager didn't say anything, because we looked at that equity curve and did the only thing that anyone would possibly do when they looked at an equity curve like that, which is we gave him more buying power. But he earned it because he'd kept his stats. He used technology to show him that he deserved more risk, and us that he deserved more risk. But you should do that too at home. You shouldn't be giving yourself more risk unless you can sit down with trading stats and show to yourself that you trade a particular strategy really well. We tag all of our trades, we measure all of our trades at our firm, so we know which trades we trade the best. We know what our stats are for breakout trades. We know what our stats are for fade trades. We know what our stats are for market play trades. We know what our stats are for breaking news trades, and on and on and on. You should know that as well. This is what professional traders do to ask for and receive more capital. So this picture of Shark, and this is a picture of Shark getting his first black shirt at the firm. You get a black shirt if you make $2 million in trading profits in a year. And so Shark is probably our best overall trader at the firm, and couldn't be happier for Shark. And Shark is just remarkable. I still to this day can remember when, after he earned his green shirt, his first green shirt, $1 million in trading P&L, writing that his ultimate goal was to be able to make $10 million in a trading year, and specifically how he was going to go about doing that. And when I read that, it just inspired me to be a better coach. It inspired me to be a better mentor, a better managing partner of a firm, to make sure he had all the things that he needed to be able to hit that level. And nobody epitomizes the importance of a growth mindset better than Shark. Always trying to get better. In fact, over the last 2 years, he's gotten much better with market plays. As volatility has expanded, volatility has been above 60 for a long period of time. We haven't seen that in a really long period of time. He's been able to take advantage of this recent market and really crush it. And so I remember having a boot camp with Dr. Steenbarger, reteaching Shark market plays, him working on them month by month, getting a little bit better month by month, because he started and became really good in a low volatility environment. There are certain setups that work really well when VIX is 15 or 12 that you need to go to be able to be an elite trader like he was. It's actually really hard to be an elite trader when VIX is 15 and below, even 12 below at certain times. And he did that. He figured that out. And I sort of chuckle looking at this picture of us with Shark earning his first black shirt, because this is a career achievement at our firm. You kind of come up the curve wanting one day to be in a picture like this and earning a black shirt. It's like the top of the mountain. But because he has such a growth mindset, because he keeps learning, this month, and volatility and opportunity was there, but this month he earned more than that in 1 month. He earned more than a black shirt in 1 month. He made over $3.5 million in March, in 1 month. because he was working on his market play trades and walked into a market where that really paid. And I chuckle because this used to be, a great day. At this point, this was his new high day, $370,000 in one day. But one of the best practices that we recommend for our guys is to do a daily report card. He sends this to Dr. Steenbarger and myself each day after the close, and we give him feedback on what he's doing. He usually focuses on one thing that he's working on intensively to improve his trading so he can get to the next level. And then again, we provide feedback. Look what he writes in this. Even with a new high score, I don't leave absolutely gung-ho. How can I get better? How can I get better? How can I get better? How do I find my trading identity? All right, so I talk about, hey, find your niche after doing some sampling. But what does that really all look like? So here's some thoughts that I shared recently on our blog on finding your trading identity. Foundation, train so you have a solid foundation in trading. That's got to come first. Then sample, gain exposure to different setups with edge to see which ones make the most sense to you. Consider how you've been successful in the past and find setups that accentuate those strengths. So if you're a really quick thinker and you've noticed you've been faster at thinking than other people in the past, you just sort of get things really quickly, maybe you're really good at math, think about scalping. If you're a really great analytical thinker, all right, well, you're gonna gravitate towards trades that work for your cognitive strengths. All right, then build a playbook. This is your business. I wrote a book called The Playbook, the second book that I wrote. I hear it's pretty good. You might want to go check it out if you don't know how to actually build a playbook, or you go to our YouTube channel where we have lots of examples of playbook trades for you guys to learn about. I'll also show you a trade a little bit later in playbook form that you can co-opt for your trading. Sit with your trading identity before the open. So there's a video that I did with Austin Mitchum, who's a great Australian equities trader, who took the principles that I taught in SMB DNA and applied them to the Australian equities marketplace. But one of the things that he does to make sure that he is at his best and takes the trades that highlight his personality and cognitive strengths is that he literally sits before the open with his trading identity and reminds himself what he's good at before each open. Tag and measure your trades, keep score. So I did a video outlining how to keep trading stats to find your niche, which you can find on YouTube. Increase your risk on setups that measure well in real time. And doing what we do best makes us the best version of who we are. So think about that. How were you successful in the past? What did that look like? How can you apply that to trading? And a great example of that is, and I chuckle looking at this, this is Swang. This is Swang getting his first black shirt. And like Shark in March, he earned enough just in that month to earn a black shirt. He did over $3.5 million in trading P&L for the month of March in 1 month. And it wasn't that long ago, actually, where Swang had been an incredibly consistent trader for a long period of time. And just his numbers were just incredibly consistent, able to make a lot of P&L, but day in and day out, week in and week out, month in and month, just always pretty consistent, very little drawdowns. But there was one period of time where he did have a drawdown. And I remember him bringing in his statistics for the month to a monthly review session with his team, Dr. Steenbarger, myself, and our floor manager. And he had experienced a period of drawdown. I think the first one that I remember since he started 8, 9 years ago. And we looked at his stats, and Dr. Steenbarger looked at his stats and said, I'm seeing the problem. And he said, don't let your swing trading get in the way of your swang trading. And what this great active trader was doing was he was taking too many trades on longer time frames that were not his niche. They were outside what he does best. And this elite trader, having him do something that he wasn't best at, not only diminished his results, but turned his results, his incredibly positive results, to a drawdown, to losing money by making too many swing trades for somebody that's more of a very active trader. That's how important trading to your niche is. That's how important. I mean, if it's that important for swang, somebody who made $3.5 million in trading profits in March, somebody who prior that has on multiple years earned a black shirt for his trading profits. If it's that important to him, one of the best active traders in the US, and by the way, one of the most polite traders you'll ever meet, what does that mean for you? If you're trading the wrong niche, if you're not trading a niche that's best for you, what do you think that means for you? Look what it means for him. The good fail. And look, I think this is important in your journey to be a consistently profitable trader. It's not just going to be all wins and smelling the roses. Shark, at one point, before becoming a green shirt trader, lost $350,000 plus in one after hours trading KBIO. Okay, he remembers it as $350,000. I remember it as $400,000. We'll let him. We'll go with his results. And that's an opportunity to get better, but that's a big hit. And so that's going to happen. And a great lesson that I can teach to you guys relates to me working out. And so I go to the gym twice a week. I used to before the coronavirus fears, but I would go twice a week to the gym after work and work out with my trainer. And we do a lot of deadlifts. I sit a lot. He wants me to be flexible and strong in my hips. And so we do tons and tons of deadlifts. And I'd never done a deadlift before working out with my trainer, ever. I'd never done one. I'd been a former athlete, had no idea how to do them. So I had to learn from scratch. And I love learning things and adding stuff to my repertoire. And so I had to learn proper form. I had to learn how to get over the bar, hold the bar, get in the right position, do it the right way so that I could be able to one day lift heavy weights. And so I was uncomfortable at the beginning, getting over the bar the right way and getting in the right position. And but slowly I started learning. Slowly my form started getting better. And I would add weight. Trainer would add weight. Felt good about myself, kept increasing the weight, kept getting better until at one point I hit a ceiling. I just couldn't get past this one particular barrier. And so, I said to myself, well, let me sort of think about this. And my trainer and I, the way that we work, after every lift, we talk about each lift. And so I do the lift and he'll give me some feedback and I'll give him some feedback. We're like a golfer and a caddy working with each other. And, so I really had in my head, I got to figure out how to get through this one particular weight. And my trainer and I came up with a plan. And we said, look, just get over the bar, get in a position, get in a safe position, and pull as hard as you can. And if it comes up, it comes up. And so I'm like, all right. And I kept working on my form. building my confidence. So one day, I really think I'm going to do it. I get over the bar. We're at my max weight. I get in a safe position and I pull and I pull and I pull with all my might and I get it off the floor a little bit and I'm pulling it up and I drop it to the floor. It was just too heavy. My trainer's looking at me, waiting for me to give my feedback. I'm collecting my thoughts. And I looked at him and I said, that was a good fail. That fail gave me the confidence that I knew was going to help me to break through this barrier, because when I dropped that weight to the floor, nothing hurt. My back didn't hurt. My knees didn't hurt. I was safe. I was at full exertion and nothing bad happened. And I relate this to having a strong foundation, being a good risk reward trader, and pushing your size. When you can get to the point where you see a trade you really love, you know it's one of your A+ setups, and you put on your max risk for it, the risk that you know that you can take on a particular trade, which should be a percentage of your overall bank. So if you're a swing trader, you never really want to lose 2 to 5%, more than 2 to 5% of your bank, of your buying power, of the money you've got up at a firm or you're trading personally. If you're an intraday trader, you always have a intraday stop loss. So let's say I'm not going to lose more than $5,000. Let's say I'm not going to lose more than $1,000 in a particular trade. If you find one of your A+ trades, you might say, I'm going to risk 50% of that $1,000 on an A+ trade. And you put on the risk. And if that trade doesn't work out, you've only lost $500. Your account's fine. No worries. You can still go from there. That's an important thing. And so, fast forward a little bit, a couple weeks later, kept working at it, form's getting better, got over that bar, got in a safe position, and I pulled and I pulled and I pulled, and I got that weight up. I succeeded in getting that lift. I broke that barrier. I dropped the weight to the ground. I gave my trainer a fist bump. This was, of course, before social distancing, where we could actually do fist bumps and give each other high fives. Got a drink of water, came back, and my trainer, of course, is waiting for me, doing what he should be doing as a trainer, which is asking the question, heavier? You got more? I looked at him and I said, I do. And we put more weight on the bar. I got in a safe position. I got over the bar and I pulled and I pulled and I pulled with everything I had, and the veins in my neck were popping out. And I got that weight up again for a second personal best in one session, dropped the weight to the floor, gave my trainer a fist bump, and had a new record. But that's what you can do when you have good form in place and you want to size up, is you can exert yourself. As long as you have your risk guidelines in place, you can fail, but then from there, take it further and get to that next step in your trading. Because nothing really bad is going to happen. You can put on your max risk in a position, $1,000 of intraday risk. I'm going to give it $500 worth of risk. I'm going to put on $500 worth of risk. I lose, fine. If you keep doing that over and over and over again, inevitably, you're going to have that trade where you make more than you ever did. You're going to make $3,000. That's going to be the new high for you with your trading. That's going to push you to see yourself as a different trader and be at a different pedestal overall in your career. So one of the things that I see that's very different between professional traders and retail traders and independent traders is, I call it just. You need real edge in trading. And you can't just have 20 habits, do them every day, and without real edge, think that you're going to make a lot of money. You need real edge. And what I see with retail independent traders is they just make a technical trade, or they just make a fundamental trade, or they just look for a setup. Okay? What professional traders do is they put a bunch of variables together. All right? And that helps them to make really good trades. How do I build a consistent trading business? You want things to be scalable, repeatable, identifiable. You want to be able to control your risk, put on substantial size, put on real risk. You want to save your risk for A-plus trades. Let me show you a playbook example. You'll learn actually how to make a playbook trade by me working through this example. But the key is, notice how we put multiple variables together to make a professional trade. This is the difference between what retail and independent traders do that leads to their underperformance, or the gap in performance between them and a professional trader, and what pros do. So let's talk about the playbook. Playbook is comprised of the big picture, a news catalyst, longer term technicals, short term technicals, reading the tape, intuition. We're putting together multiple variables to make an A-plus trade. We're not just making a technical trade. The bigger picture for this particular trade, S&P is at the top of its range, following both European and Asian markets to the upside, and extending the strong gains from Friday amid positive comments from President Trump and other officials on trade talks, along with a move by China on this particular day over the weekend to lower borrowing costs for companies, and also reports that Germany may also be considering a stimulus measures. President Trump played down recession over the weekend, while his top economic advisor, Larry Kudlow, predicted a strong second half performance for the US. So that's our big picture. What's the overall market doing? Where are resistance and support levels in the overall market? We are in a strong uptrending market. What kind of market are we in overall? The bigger picture for Weibo, stock symbol WB, it's beaten down on the daily chart. It's consolidating at 3-year lows before today's earnings report. So we've got a stock that's sold off from the high 70s all the way into the 30s. Where has this stock come from? Prior to that, it was a $140 stock, so come off a ton. Intraday fundamentals. Weibo's a Chinese microblogging website. It's one of the biggest social media platforms in China. Weibo reports earnings of 68 cents per share on revenue of about $500 million. For Q3, Weibo estimates revenue to increase 6 to 9%. That's above Wall Street estimates of a 5% increase to 485 million. Here's the key. Monthly active users were 486 million in June 2019, a net addition of approximately 55 million users year over year. What that means is the product that they sell is in higher demand. What they sell is more attractive to the marketplace. The street loves this. The street loves when a company makes a product that people are using more and there's more demand for. Volume 7.35 million. Arval 5.5, that's relative volume. Go to our YouTube channel, SMB Capital, to learn more about how we use Arval. ATR 1.6, short interest really high. 66.7%. That means there's going to be lots of natural buyers, as shorts may need to cover because we now have this really positive news catalyst behind this particular name. Their monthly active users are up a ton. Their business is doing a lot better than the street expected and that they've been doing prior. This is a really positive news catalyst. All right, the float 17 million. Want to know the details that go into what is important to make a trade decision. All right, Weibo, pre-market, 2-minute chart. We've got a nice level here at 40.50 as these pre-market highs and a little resistance right there. We're going to note that level as whether or not it's above there or below there, or thinking about trading it. And then our trade management. All right, tier one. We're long tier one when Weibo makes a higher low and reclaims VWAP after making a 1 ATR move to the upside and testing pre-market highs. So we're going to risk half to the wick low and low of day. Okay, so we're tier one. Tier two, long tier two after WB Weibo tests the pre-market and holds VWAP a third time. Risk previous higher low. We can now see the wedge forming on multiple time frames. Trade management, tier three. The wedge breaks to the upside, holds the pre-market high, and consolidates. So we're going to add tier three, risking to VWAP. All right, tier four, Weibo breaks above the high of the day, the 41 higher time frame, technical level, and holds. Add your final lot. You're now in a position of strength and have a good average. So we're adding as this trade is working for us. The price action is working together. We really like to use VWAP. We like to buy stocks that are above VWAP. We don't like to risk a lot when stocks are below VWAP. Okay, and remember, RVO's pretty high in this as well, indicating the stock is really in play. When a stock is holding consistently above VWAP, it means big money managers really want to buy the stock. Great indicator for you guys to use. All right, multiple time frame wedge. 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, all in a really tight consolidation wedge. This is one of the best technical patterns that we can teach you for active trading. Why do we want to look at multiple time frames? Because lots of different traders look at multiple time frames. Some traders like to look at 1 minute. Some traders like to look at 5 minutes. Some traders like to look at 15 minutes. When the wedge is breaking above, people are looking at 1 minute, and traders are looking at 5 minutes, and traders are looking at 15 minutes. That means you've got three distinct segments of the population who use technicals who are all seeing a buy signal. It means more players are jumping in on the long side as this is breaking out of a wedge. Trade management part two. All right, so how are we going to get out of our winning position? The stock fails from 42 and retests, sell tier one into 42. So we can't really get above it a couple of different times. So we're going to lighten up a little bit. All right, WB fails into 42.50 and makes a lower high. So we're going to sell tier two. Side note, now that we have confirmation our trade is working, we should adjust our stops. I set my stops for 1/2 below VWAP and 1/2 at 41, which is our support technical level. And then WB fails to get over 90 cents and tests 43. So we're going to sell tier three and hold the remainder into the close for momentum trade. You could also hold the remaining shares for a 2-day continuation swing trade. All right, so we're using our reasons to exit in this particular time period. Now notice there were variables in our favor. We had a beaten down stock, a news catalyst, high short interest, elevated ARVO, holding above VWAP, consolidating above VWAP, breaks out of a bullish wedge pattern, high a days news catalyst. We're not just making a technical trade. We're not just making a fundamental trade. We're putting variables together to make a professional trade. That's how we get these outsized risk reward trades, putting multiple variables together to make an A+ trade. So elite active traders trade at their best when. So I have the advantage of coaching really great elite traders outside of my firm. We've developed a tremendous amount of elite active traders inside of our firm. We've watched them from college all the way up to being star traders. There are commonalities as to when they're trading well and when they're underperforming. And believe me, elite traders underperform at times, and they need coaching and mentoring to get back on track. And if they do, you should expect that of yourself too. The commonalities when they're trading at their best is when they develop a thesis, but they don't just trade the thesis. They also look for a setup in their playbook, and they see it, and they fight for price. That equals one good trade. So they find a setup in their playbook. We talked about niche. They're searching for setups that are part of their niche, what makes them great. They spot that. They see it. There's confirmation from the price action and the volume that their thesis is correct. It's being confirmed by other market participants. They fight for price. If the entry's 30, they're getting in really, really close to 30. They're not sloppy with their execution entries because that messes up their whole risk reward. When they're doing all four of those things, that's when they're making good trades. That's when they're trading at their best. When they're not, when they just trade their thesis, I think Tesla should go down. They trade really poorly. I think oil should bounce. They trade really poorly. I think this market has no chance to go up from the bottom and should break through new lows on the S&P. That's when they trade at their worst. A game of no regrets. So I want to leave you with a really great podcast that you all might check out. And it's a podcast that was done by Peter Attias, a doctor in the US, with a colleague of his, Rick Elias, who's an entrepreneur. And so Peter had Rick on his show and asked him about an experience that he had in his life that was life-changing. And so Rick was one of the people on a very famous US flight. And it was a flight that took off from New York City and was to head to Charlotte, that was flown by Captain Sullenberger and that landed in the Hudson River. And Rick is sitting in first class and they take off. And pretty early into the flight, he hears this huge sound, like an explosion. And he's not really sure what it is, that it just sounds like something exploded. And he looks at the stewardess who's diagonal from him, and that stewardess is perfectly calm. And so he just figures something happened, and he feels the plane turning around. Feels like, I guess we're just going to turn around and go back to where we took off from. No big deal here. And they start to descend a little bit, and they start to descend pretty fast. And it doesn't feel right. And he looks at the stewardess, and the stewardess has sheer terror now on her face. And at this moment, he knows, and for the next 90 seconds, he knows he's certain to die. And what he experiences in those 90 seconds is completely different than what he thought he would experience, what you might think you would experience, what I thought he would experience, and teaches us a great lesson. You would think that during those 90 seconds, when he was certain he was going to die, that he would be incredibly scared. And he was asked about this, and he said, that wasn't really what I was thinking about. I wasn't really scared. He said, I was profoundly sad. I was profoundly sad thinking about the things that I wanted to do, that I should have done, that I hadn't. I was profoundly sad with regret about certain things that I hadn't done. The plane is descending, and miraculously, it lands on top of the Hudson River, and everybody survives. And from this experience, Rick says that he earned this incredible gift, that he earned the gift of not really just life, but how important it is and how it crystallized to him that he was playing a game and that there was a game to play going forward. And that was a game of no regrets. And so look, if trading is something that you really want to become good at, if trading is something that's important to you, it's got to be a game of no regrets.
Hey, go ahead and click our subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos they're producing for you in the trading community. And please take the time to add your feedback in the comments section for what videos you'd like for us to produce next and what you found helpful from this video. From all of us at S&B, train and trade well.